Hello and welcome to ITSE 1302 Computer Programming in Python. I am your professor, Carol Chandler, and I hope we have a great semester here. Um, First of all, I want to show you what we'll be using within D2L. I know that one of the most confusing and frustrating things as a student is figuring out where all of your professors put their information and what you need to be checking every day. Most of our course content will be on a website called Trinket, but we do also use D2L. So here's what I know yours looks slightly different as a student. You don't have this course management, but there won't be very much under content. You can always check your grades under grades. Under course activities, you will find the quizzes and the final exam. Under collaboration, you will find, if you had to move the scroll bar a little bit, you could find our WebEx room. I will have office hours on Monday and Wednesday afternoons, and that is where you will find how to get into there. So that will bring you to the calendar. So you can see it's scheduled for 2 to 3. I am fairly flexible and available. If you need help, contact me. The best way to contact me is through D2L email. And that is, you find this right here. This is separate from your Lone Star email if you didn't know. And it is the best way to contact me. So that is all that you need to know about using D2L for me. There will be weekly quizzes, so you do need to check D2L and make sure you're on top of things. I will send you email and announcements in D2L. Everything else is going to be in Trinket. And there is a link to this in all over the place, in the syllabus, in the welcome message. This is our Trinket course. This is where our book is. Our book is called Python for Everyone, and it is free and it's online. It's written by Charles Severance, who also created videos for all the chapters, and they're pretty good videos, and I have included all of them. He does get a bit chatty, so you might or might not want to read the videos or watch the videos, but do read the book. It's a good book. So chapter 1 it goes on about how computers work. So if you know a lot about computers already, that's going to be incredibly basic and probably kind of boring for you. But if you don't really know what goes on inside a computer, it's good to look at. And of course, this is not a hardware course, so you don't need to know nitty-gritty details, but it's still a good thing to know the terminology. It also talks about Python and the different ways of using Python, and the different steps of programming, different types of errors that you will make. All of those things are good to know. There is a glossary near the end of the chapter that has a list of terms and definitions that you should be familiar with. Although, I mean, you don't have to memorize the definitions, but you should know those terms. The videos that go with this chapter, there are a lot of them. So you can see these are all, I didn't make one of my own. I will be doing that for most of the lessons, but this week I didn't. He has a whole lot, and you don't have to install Python on your computer if you don't want to. But if you want to and you have any trouble, he included some videos at the bottom here for installing on Windows or Mac. But within Trinket, you can you can see over here on the left, this is going to be their each chapter and the reading and programming assignments and videos. So when you click on the assignment, it will give you the instructions, and then you will have a box. Well, you click on Start Assignment, And right here, you have your programming environment. So you start typing your code right here. And then once you've typed something in, you can hit the run button right here and your output will appear over here. Um, in the later chapters, I will have example trinkets that I have put in. So I give you the instructions and then you will see what I expect yours to look like. So so you don't get, I don't give you my code, but this is what your output should look like. So you can see what it's like to use to run a program in Trinket. So you can see how that works. It asked me a series of questions that I answered. So this was the running of a Python program in this Trinket environment. Um, it's pretty intuitive, pretty easy. You see my example, and then here is your box to enter your own code. So you can see start assignment right here, and then you can start typing your code right here. And then when you're ready to run it, you can click run. When you're done, there is a submit your code button down here, and I will see your code and be able to run it right there. And I will also give you feedback right here. So you can come back after I've graded it. And these programs are not auto graded. I grade them all by hand. So sometimes I get busy and I get behind, but I do my best to stay on top of these. And I will give you feedback. And if you have trouble, I will usually give you feedback and give you some ideas and allow you to resubmit it. Um, I spent several years homeschooling my own kids, and that philosophy has carried over into my college teaching. I'm way more interested in you learning the material than in punishing you for not getting it right the first time. So do-overs work for me. I will allow you to resubmit things up until the due date. We need to keep due dates in mind as well. Due dates are pretty much always going to be Sunday night, shortly before midnight for both quizzes and programs. So you generally have a week for each. You may work ahead. This is an asynchronous class, so you don't have to stick right on a schedule. However, if you stick to basically a chapter a week, that is the appropriate pacing, and that's probably what the questions for that particular chapter are probably what I'll be addressing in office hours. And if you can't make the office hours, I intend to record that and post the videos if anything interesting happens. Um, so, if you stick with the class, you're more likely to see interesting discussions that are appropriate to where you are in your progress. So let's see, what else do I need to tell you? Um, oh, okay. Yeah, code swiping. You probably know that most programmers, when they get a new assignment, will first go search the internet for copy the code that they can just copy because that's so much faster than starting from scratch in a lot of cases. I don't really recommend that for a class like this because, you're here to learn how to do this yourself, not how to copy code. Um, I can't stop you from doing that, but I will tell you that I expect you to understand the code that you submit. So if you go out and find something on the internet and submit it and you don't understand how it works, well, it might or might not work right, but chances are it's not going to be done in exactly the way that we've been studying in that chapter. And it will be very obvious to me that it's not your own work. And I will ask you to explain it. If you can explain it, then I'll accept it. But If you submit something that you can't explain and you don't understand, I will not accept that. So there you go. Quizzes and even the final exam will be open book because I believe that's how the real world works for programmers. You use reference materials, especially when you are working with more than one language. It's hard to remember all the details of syntax that are almost but not quite the same between languages. So I don't expect you to have every little thing memorized, but you need to know the material well enough that you don't look up every answer because you're going to run out of time if you do that. So, um, with all that being said, I think I'm done for this week. And do let me know if you have any questions or troubles. I what I want you to know this week is how the programming environment works within Trinket. Um, what my expectations are of you. Um, Specifically that there are quizzes in D2L and reading and videos and programming in Trinket. Um, what the due dates are, what the standards are, what I expect from you, and where to find help. So let me know if you need any help.